Good afternoon, Mikel. Craig Slater, Sky Sports News. Well, good to see Bukayo Saka, Alexander Zinchenko and Mohamed El-Neni out there today. Are they all at different stages in terms of their fitness, or potentially could all of them be involved tomorrow or Sunday?
They are in different stages. Obviously, Mo had a long-term injury, but he has recovered in a really good way, and he's been training with the team for a week or two now. Alex is just very recent, and he trained just 2 training sessions, and Bukayo just missed 1 or 2, and he was fine today.
Okay, so he could be available certainly for tomorrow night if needed.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of concern about Bukayo because of the World Cup, and people raising the question again about does he get enough protection from referees. But we hear a lot about referees allowing the game to flow a little bit more these days. Does that entail possibly 1 or 2 fouls going unpunished? And is it consistent enough in terms of how games are being refereed?
I'm sure that the referees have looked at all the incidents, all the fouls. They know the amount of fouls that our front players are getting, and it's their job to manage that situation in the best possible way.
Is it something you might raise with the Premier League?
Not here, though. Whatever I do, I have to do it with them.
Okay. Well, Reece Nelson obviously came on and got a couple of goals, and afterwards he talked about how he understands he has to wait for his opportunities. He has to work to be involved with this Arsenal team in the way it's going at the moment. How pleasing is it to have that mentality? And I think Kieran Tierney said something similar from players who maybe aren't starting the majority of games. What does it say about the mentality of the squad?
I think it says a lot about the understanding of each one's role in the team, and that changes every single week. You're talking about 2 players that in the past they play matches and somebody was on the bench. It doesn't mean that they don't push. It's absolutely contrary. They've been really pushing and doing their best to play, but at the end we have to make decisions, and they've been really respectful, as we expect all the players to be respectful when they are on the pitch as well.
Gabriel Jesus has got another game without scoring. I think you said afterwards there's no real need for any anxiety about that, and no question in your mind he necessarily has to make any adjustments to how he's playing.
If he makes 3 assists in a game, I don't think he has to make many adjustments. I would be really happy if he's able to do that every game.
Fair enough. Okay, one last one from me. Some Arsenal supporters will be maybe waking up today and reading some reports about you being linked with managing Barcelona at some point in the future. It's obviously where your football journey started off, so maybe there are some emotional ties there. How do you feel about that? Is it flattering for you? Do you make anything of it?
No, what I can say, I'm extremely happy and proud to be where I am. I think Barcelona now, they are in a really good path. I think they have a phenomenal coach, a coach that has been an absolutely legend in that club and has lifted the whole place, and I think you have to be very respectful of that.
Hi, Mikel. Obviously, it was during the game last week that you heard about what happened with Pablo Mari. Just in terms of firstly, how is he? You've gone up, down on how he is. And secondly, how concerning is that incident for footballers that you have abroad and at home?
Well, first of all, good news, because he's in a really good place, and we know how Pablo reacts to things, and he's been really positive about everything that happened. But there are concerns, obviously, when you talked about some issues that happened in the last few months with footballers, with wives, with families, not only in the UK but all across Europe. I think we need to raise our voices, and we need to do something about it, because it's not what we want. We need to feel safe, and everybody deserves to feel safe, and we need to do something about that.
Under 4 weeks now till the World Cup starts, everybody who supports England will be worried about your players like Bukayo Saka when they come off injured. I know your concern is mainly about Arsenal, not about England, but as the World Cup, as we go into the last 4 games before the World Cup, do you feel any kind of responsibility at all trying to protect these players?
Every day I feel responsibility to protect them, to guide them, to get the best out of them. But we are playing for Arsenal at the moment, and that's what they have to focus on. And when they're playing for England or the national teams, they have to focus on the national team and not in England. And this is what we have to do.
Have you noticed any of them thinking more about the World Cup as it becomes?
No, and I don't want to notice any of that.
Fair enough. obviously it's important to top the group because it means you miss out on a round. So tomorrow night, am I taking you're going to try and field a very strong team at least to get the job done, maybe by half time or by an hour before resting players?
I don't approach games like saying in half an hour, 45 minutes we get the results that we want, but certainly we'll have a really competitive team out there, and we know that we missed the chance in Holland last week, and that's the last opportunity that we have to achieve our goal.
Finally, Pep Guardiola's been saying that Manchester City might try and organise some friendly matches during the World Cup just so that the players that are left here and don't go to the World Cup still get some proper sort of match action game time. Would you be supportive of that if Arsenal maybe having a couple of friendly matches during the World Cup?
Yeah, we will have some friendly matches for sure. We are arranging them. We need to, because we're going to have 10, 11, 12 players here, and they need to have that competition.
Could what you arrange for that World Cup and how you arrange it be important with what happens to the rest of the season? Is the clubs that get that right could actually benefit massively later in the year, couldn't they?
Yeah, they can do. Obviously, there is an element that we're not going to control what is going to happen during that World Cup with your own players, but certainly with the players that we have here and what we do, it will be like another season, another pre-season that is going to get into a new season.
We noticed in the press box on Sunday when Bukayo first got injured, you, Bukayo, and the doctor were all talking for quite a while. What kind of conversation was that? Do you think he should have come off sooner, or was there something going on there?
No, well, the conversation was he's in or he's out. But in between, we cannot have a player 5, 6, 7 minutes. So you are on the pitch or you are outside the pitch. You're going to have outside the pitch, go sit on the floor and get off.
Was that Bukayo just he wanted to play on, so he was just trying to push through?
Yeah, for sure, but we have to make a decision, and that's it, because we cannot delay a situation like that, because every minute that a player is not 100% to play is costing the team, and we need to make those decisions quick.
Ian was just saying about players might have an eye on the World Cup, but that proves that Bukayo wants to just keep going no matter what at the moment, doesn't he? Even if he's feeling knocked, he wants to play. He's in that zone at the moment, I suppose.
Yes, but we're using obviously our brains and our common sense, but obviously he had a kick, he wasn't comfortable, we made a decision to get him off, and now he's feeling fine, and we will assess each individual as he comes.
Mikel, we were talking about your team selection earlier there. How much of a challenge is it going to be for you balancing that out with the fact you've got not just a Sunday game, a big Sunday game kicking off at 12 o'clock? Does that mean, is that even more of a challenge for you?
It is a challenge, obviously. We've been trying to load the players pretty equally in the last 5-6 weeks because we have been playing every 3 days, and we have managed to do that. And you have seen that we haven't repeated too many blocks of 4 games of certain individuals, and we'll try to continue to do that to get everybody as fresh as possible and with enough rhythm into the games.
Do you feel like you've been set at a disadvantage? Chelsea obviously playing in a few hours as we speak. You've got, a day's less preparation, and the game is earlier than you'd normally playing on a Sunday.
But we know that, and playing in the Europa League, you know that this could be an issue, and that's it. It's a very early kickoff, which is a little bit unusual when you play on Thursday nights, but it's what we have.
And just finally, could I ask you, how are you going to watch the World Cup? Are you going to go out there? Are you going to be hiding behind your sofa at any time one of your players is playing for fear of getting an injury?
Well, we'll be together. We'll be having another pre-season, and for a long period we're going to be away from London, so we'll be together. So we'll be supporting our players.
Finally, the last section.
Yeah, Mohamed El Nene's been out for a long time. Obviously, him coming back is a big boost, but specifically the link to Sambi Lokonga, who's covered when you've rotated Thomas Partey out of the team. Has that been a frustration, considering Lokonga played in a slightly more advanced role during pre-season, and he's not been able to show those qualities further up the field with Mohamed El Nene being out?
Yes, but that situation arises because we had Thomas out and then Mo out, and we have to adapt the position of Sam because he's our most natural player to do so, and with Mo coming back, now we have another position open.